Ethan,
Yes.
I'm here. It's working.
All right.
I'm sorry. And I saw your text just now. But look, it's live, and here's the chat. I'll still.
Well, is the mic muted?
No,
So they
probably
can hear
not.
us.
Yes.
I see.
Anyway, but you know, I could come. Where's that? Here. I was going to turn down this one. That's the camera mic. It really doesn't need it. But I got.
Wait, you have a camera mic and
Yeah,
that you probably shouldn't do that.
yeah, you could hear like it sounded like a little echoey. Yeah, then here this mic box. Now that's mine. And again, this is the mic that's sitting by me. And I tested it all, but it's right now it's muted. But you might want to look at that. You know, that's my mic, and then this is the piano mic. And I just was playing around, but now I don't know if I have time. I was playing around with another camera. It's a scene to record a scene. And then we'll take it. And then I can say add sources, and then video capture device. Today it was so much faster, but you're right. I did that. I haven't changed the stream key at all. I haven't messed with it. So let's give it. Yeah. And there's your headphone. And that it's a long headphone. Yeah. So it looks good. We have 3 minutes or so. Let's give everybody.
Oh yeah, you said 6:45.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can have this. Like I said, that's the chat.
Oh.
You can chat if you want. Or if you see somebody. So, sweet. Oh, we're going to do this first. Let me see. So I have it. Oh, yeah, that's very important. I just had some. Huh?
We have time.
Yeah.
You just have to look.
I just had some cleanup. The work thing too. I just saved it now.
All salty and oily. All right, so I pinned your top message.
Okay.
Also, I'm keeping the mic on because it's nice to have a little bit of background.
Yeah, people can realize. Yeah. People think it sounds like we're live.
Well, they can barely hear us, but yeah.
All right.
Wait a second. Is that the piano mic? No, it's the. Hey. The sound on. Is the sound on this tablet?
I don't know. I never. Yes, it is. You probably should turn it down. If this is the. I know this is. It's not a great tablet.
It's usable.
But it should be. Here should be up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, there we go.
There's a. So it's 2 buttons up here. Is the up and down. All right. One more second, then I'm going to be ready. Look at this.
Yeah. So
can you tell? Is anybody watching?
Well,
there's no one in chat, and it says on the live stream that we have one concurrent viewer, which I think is us. So who knows?
It's probably it's you.
Yeah. Well, I was asking if the sound was on because they can't even hear really.
Well,
let me see.
I did. Yeah, there's your headphone. And on OBS, I did mute. See? Oh, is it on again?
I switched them, yeah.
Okay. Test.
Okay, you can hear it from there. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but did you 1 second. Did you filter out the
noise
suppression?
Yeah. It stayed on from last time. So we're ready? Are you still on the title screen?
Yeah, we're still on the title screen.
Right.
I think we're just about ready. I don't know if anyone can hear us.
Oh, let me see. I mean, if it looks like it's on,
is mic 2 the piano mic?
There's a way to.
Or is it all going in through the mixer into that singular mic?
Yeah, okay. Everything should go in there. And that's it. Yeah, so it's on.
Okay.
I trust it. Again, hopefully people could chat. So you want to go?
Well, I don't want to fight, but yeah, we can start.
Okay. Let me turn down my phone. As soon as we start, Hey, Lindy, I answered your message. All right. We going?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we're going.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This is our third installment of Music Mondays. Next week, there won't be a program because I'm on vacation. I will be traveling out of the country. Unless I find some really cool way to do it, we will not have a program next Monday. And maybe not the week after because it takes time to put these together. Today, welcome. If you're in the chat, I posted a question there. It would be good just to have some feedback. If you have an idea about music or kind of constructive criticism of the show, that would be good. Today, we're going to talk about emotions in music, and in particularly Chopin's music. I've been working on some Chopin pieces, and it made me think about the emotional content of his music, or what is it, how do we get there? And it's good for students because as when we're learning a new piece of music, we're so worried about the notes and the rhythms, maybe we forget about the feeling of the music. And that would be maybe, for me, kind of a better term than emotional. Just, the music has a feel, or it makes you feel something. So we're going to start with this Chopin Etude, and it's it's well-known, not one of the most well-known, but it's a well-known etude. I think it was one of Chopin's favorites if you look it up. And it's in E major. So people think major is happy key and everything. And then the two pieces we're starting out with are in major keys. But you might not think they're in major keys when you hear it because of the feeling of the music. So the theme, there's things that make up music. We have the melody, we have the harmony, we have the rhythm, and then we're going to talk about other things. The melody in this song it's just an E major scale. If anything, it's the first 6 notes of the E major scale. That's 5. Okay. So the melody doesn't give us a lot of feeling, really. What's nice is this half step. And we have that rhythm. first was looking at this melody, I didn't consider those last three notes, but I will. Now, if we look at the harmony in this, it's in E major. That's basically it. Again, there's no real emotional content there. Or, anyway. And if we add it, it's starting to sound like something. But again, I try to play it straight, just notes and rhythm. So now let's add those other qualities that really is going to make it sound like it has feeling. And it's basically the tempo. You can speed up and slow down the tempo a little bit, and the dynamics. You can make some things softer and some things louder. If we have this like push and pull, if we create some tension, that's more done with the tempo and the dynamics than it is with the notes. So I'll try to play it one more time with feeling. That should have been the title. Ethan is here if you wonder who I'm looking at.
Hello, everyone.
So that I should have, instead of Chopin and emotions, I should have said, play it again with feeling. So here we go. That's the first part of the song. You can see it got really loud, and it says there, it says with force, and get faster, and slow down, and then it says fortissimo, and so there's a lot of instruction, and Chopin probably put it all in there, and that gives us a sense, it's kind of a sense of anxiety, something is bothering us maybe, or we're thinking about somebody, and it's making us more excited, or more emotional as we think about it. But then he brings it back down at the end. And the next part is a little bit different. Oh, my pedal. It's going to happen. That's okay. I hope it's okay.
The foot pedals that you use to operate your tablet?
Yeah.
Yes, it's malfunctioning.
All the time. Siri, open Bluetooth. All it is a quick restart, and we're back in. All right. Siri, switch to mobile sheets. So we're going to start this other one. It even sounds happier. We were talking about. So and again, we speed it up, and we'll also there's not so much pedal. It's kind of short notes, and it makes it feel happier. So a lot of dramatic, I guess you could say it's very dramatic in the middle of the piece. After I stopped and I said, uh-oh, it actually went really well. That was probably like the best I ever played, those 8 bars or whatever. That's how it kind of sounds. And so again, as far as emotional content, maybe it's frustration or, not being right with yourself, being frustrated with yourself or being frustrated with somebody else. Notice in most of these times when I'm saying it's emotional, I'm not giving you too much of an idea. I want you to think about what emotion it gives you. And as far as art in general goes, I think we're missing a lot of that these days. When people listen to pop music, the lyrics give it to you. They spoon feed, hey, this is what the song is about. This is what you should feel. Where in music like this, you can think about nature, you can think about spiritually, something spiritual with it, or you could think of romantic love with it, or even platonic relationships, all kinds of things you can think about. And it's kind of up to you, and you can think of maybe what Chopin was feeling when he wrote it, if you don't want to put it on yourself. And you can go back and read about Chopin's life, and then you can understand his music a little bit better. One thing to say, a lot of songs like this were not real popular in Chopin's day. People thought it was a little bit too easy or too emotional, too popish. So there wasn't big Beethoven or Schumann or Liszt. But as you can tell, it's good music. So that pretty much covers it. Notice it went from really big. It says here, con bravura, with bigness, really big.
Like bravado?
Kind of, that's what I'm thinking. That's not what it says, but it's close.
It's like the same Latin root.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, it would be Italian.
Well,
anyway.
I mean, go back far.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then I like here at the end, after all that big stuff, he brings in this left hand. And it's kind of like the beginning, but it's a little different. Bring this up. That is a 2 against 3 where he's doing it, so it's not supposed to be together. And again, to me, that's bringing out some more emotion when it's not just in time. When I'm doing this, those are in time, and then a lot of students try to get it perfectly like synced up in time, and I think that's against the point. The point is that it's supposed to be out of time. So going on to the next piece. Anybody in chat? What do you think?
No one in chat.
Oh.
I don't believe we have any viewers. Well, we might have one.
Maybe one.
Maybe. But I don't know how was last week's, did the video?
40 to 60 people viewed it eventually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh. And in my first one, it was like 70 or 80. So, I mean, people watch it.
Yeah, I kind of expected that. Well, I expected it.
He says, oh, wow, and then I kind of expected it.
Well, I expected it to have at least one. I wasn't expecting, almost closer to 100.
I have some fans.
All right.
Anyway, the next Chopin piece is in a different set list. Let me go to my set list. This is probably one of his most famous pieces, and I hope I do it justice. And this is more straightforward. What the melody and the harmony is doing here, yeah, it's a little bit better for emotional, as a driver of the emotions of the piece. It's in E flat major, so we went down a key from E major to E flat major, and in that E flat, so really when it went to F minor, F sharp minor. In this piece, every once in a while, he goes to F minor. So he's in E flat, and he goes to F minor. And it's a simple melody, and again, he's creating some anxiety
you can call it feelings if you want, where you start real simple and then he adds some notes, and it gets more emotional or more anxious each time he's going through it. Like if you were professing your love to somebody, I guess, or if you were thinking about somebody and then, oh, they're great, and then, oh yeah, they're really great, and then it just builds infatuation, right? It just builds on itself, and then finally it doesn't work out, or you hit reality at the end. And not in this piece. I don't think it goes to reality. But so this is the Nocturne, Opus 9, number 2 in E flat. Again, I think you'll recognize it. Oh, we'll go through real quick. The melody has that jump up and just a couple of notes. So it's kind of like a daydream, thinking. Oh, that's so great. These big leaps, just it's like you can also just think of it as happiness. Oh, I said an emotion, but you just think this is. You wouldn't think, but when I'm playing it, I'm thinking either something or someone is making me very happy, and it has this nice waltz in the left hand. I guess I'm not talking. That's pretty good. It's one of the best times I've ever played it. Got it on camera. Yay. So you could tell. A lot of that piece, I must admit, I was just listening to the music. I wasn't thinking like, how do I feel? And that's okay too. You know, if you say, this is a lovely piece of music, and I think the music kind of speaks for itself anyway. So, but that was the Nocturne in E flat major. And again, what we talked about, and you could tell that speeding up, slowing down, it got really loud at the end, it got very soft, right before it got loud, and all that really adds to the music and makes you think, how does this make me feel? What is this music really about? So this might be a good time where if we go to the Patreon screen and I can tell people, this is my Patreon site, and you can sign up here and support Hoobler music. It's not only what I do here in this type of podcast, but we have a children's theater, we do band shows, we support community events and things like that. So to keep the biz going, it would be nice, even though it may not be much, just to have that little bit of support, and knowing that people out there care a little bit is nice, all right? So that's the commercial. I guess we'll go back to the show. And there's two more, I think. One more at least. And I don't remember. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, yeah. The next piece, there's two more. Oh, get to it. There is a clock here. I could see. I was like, how long have we been here? About half an hour, maybe a little less. So the next piece is the Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu, which is it starts off very loud. I like to think the emotion here, again, I hate to give it away. You could think of it as your own, but I think of it as a kind of scary, frightening. Even maybe like, I think back in the old day, Schubert wrote a song called the Earl King, the Earl King, which Death was chasing the horseman, and his son was on the back, and he was trying to get his son home before Death caught up with him. So, you know, it just goes and goes and goes, and it didn't end. When he got home, I guess I gave away the end of the story. The prince was dead, or the boy was dead. So this song kind of, I think it comes from that vein. Now I'm going to switch gears. Chopin probably wrote this in homage to Beethoven, and in particularly the Moonlight Sonata, which people think is a lovely piece of music, but I've also heard other people describe it as a very dark piece, scary piece of music, and I got it here. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to try to play a part of it. And if you play it too slow, it's just boring. I mean, what emotion is there? But if you play it kind of like it's dark.
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, because I think that's probably more of the way it should be played. And then there's one spot in here where Beethoven does this. And then if you start at the top, right, you remember that. Then if you go to the third movement of this sonata, this is the one that everybody, people, I mean, it's not as popular as the first movement, but this is like the Earl King, the death chasing the people, seeing who can do it. better in rehearsal. I went through it once, so you would get this very fast. So if we go back to hear this, guess what? We're going to do the Chopin Fantasy Impromptu, and in the second line, now I can't play this either. It's the same thing as the Beethoven. It's in a different rhythm. That's why now I got the Beethoven stuff in my head. Probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, it's practically the same notes there as the Beethoven. So I think what Chopin did was he combined that first movement of the Moonlight Sonata and that last movement and made this piece, this Fantasy Impromptu. And impromptu means it's kind of an improvisation that he did, and then he wrote it down. And it starts out, has that same kind of 6/8 feel. His is, it's in the same key too. Yeah. That's this. Yeah. This goes. But we made it. All that banging around brings us to the middle section of this fantasy, which I think is more like Beethoven done better. Sorry, Beethoven. But this could be like, he took that, what people think the Beethoven sonata should be, that lovely melody, and he made this. Man, I want to get into it. Let me go back. time than at the beginning. So I was, again, letting go. I was much more freer. That middle section is lovely. And, you know, when I was thinking of that, just now playing it, I was thinking like we had all this talk about death and darkness. And then in that middle section, I was thinking, this is like what heaven would be like. Or, you know, it would be golden streets, maybe flowery meadows, life springing forth. All this good stuff is in the middle. But unfortunately, we come back to earth and we have the beginning again. And then it really takes off at the end. I know Ethan's here trying to adjust the sound. That's okay.
No, it's
I'm
fine.
sorry if
I'm not doing.
I'm saying I'm going to play and then I talk and then I
No, that's what I'm here for. Don't worry about it.
all right, very good. I appreciate it. At the end here, it kind of does die away. It gets very emotional, very dark, maybe. I don't know what happens at the end. I don't know what happens at the end, but it fades away into nothing. It has that darkness, and maybe it is. Maybe the darkness just fades away. This would be a good question to ask, put in the comments. What do you think happens at the end of the Fantasy Impromptu? If you know it. Alrighty? Excellent. Well, we've come to the last piece. And it's something I've been working on, so I thought I'd throw it in. And it's Chopin. So that follows the theme. However, I don't think this piece has any, you could make the case. This piece has no emotional content whatsoever because it's impressionistic. And if you see the impressionistic paintings, it's like, let's create a scene made out of dots and let you look at that scene for a while. And I think that's what Chopin is doing here. And again, it's kind of a famous piece. I hope I do it justice. So this is another etude, number 1 from Opus 25. And a lot of it is, sometimes it's called the Aeolian harp etude. And I was thinking, oh, a harp like this, right? And no, that's not what an Aeolian harp is. And if you go look it up online, an Aeolian harp is like a fancy wind chime that rotates and plays random notes when the wind is blowing. And I don't know if Chopin had that in mind when he wrote this piece, but it sure does sound like that. If you can imagine, the wind comes and again, the wind blows stronger and you get a different tune. And then it gets quieter and it changes the sound of the music. So that's what this is. I would say this is like one of the earliest forms of impressionistic music, and it does kind of, again, I'm not a complete expert, but you could make a case like this is kind of what Debussy did too. Debussy created a sound, and he went with that. Here we go. So this is the Aeolian harp etude, Opus 25, number 1. Yeah, it's a great piece of music. Near the middle third of it, there's quite a few wrong notes. But, yeah, I got my act back together. And one of the things too is it's nice for me to do this Music Mondays because part of performing is just keep going, and you tell that to the students too. So this is a good example of no matter how many wrong notes, just keep going, and it turned out nice. There was still some nice parts. The end was pretty good. That makes my forearm really sore. Like now I need a break. It's the stretching and doing this. It's like, and I don't know why. I'm sitting here trying to relax and do it correctly. It just tears up my forearm. It's like I really need to take a break, an intermission. Now, that was it for today. You know, one of the things I was thinking about when I was playing this, again, I was thinking about wind chimes and trying just to make these notes all mesh together nicely. But I was thinking, even though it doesn't have an emotion maybe associated with it, it still creates a feeling, you know? So yeah, I like that word better. So, you know, this could make you, it feels like it's part of a summer day or part of a spring breeze or something like that. But it might not have like that deep emotional content that we have. Anyway, I would like to wrap this up. Thanks, Ethan, again for helping out. Probably it might be 3 weeks before we do another one of these. And the first one we did was about fake books and jazzy stuff. And I would like, we've done 2 with classical music. I would like to kind of go back and either do something else that's not classical music. And so we'll plan a couple of things like that. So again, if you were online and you couldn't do the comments or something, feel free to email me or message me, okay? And you can email me through the channel, through the Roy Hoobler channel.
Or maybe comment down below in the video archive.
Do a Facebook, do the YouTube, comment in the comments on YouTube. That would be great. And again, you can like it, you can comment it, and you can visit Patreon. So, all right, everybody have a great week. See you when we get back together.